You should have one of these, but you shouldn't use it unless you know how to. Of course you should have one in the kitchen and workshop and car, but the fire department tells me that a lot of people kill themselves because they use them wrong. Where fire is concerned, these are a Band-Aid. Under no circumstances should you fight a house fire with one. This size only lasts about 10 seconds. They're not made for big fires. And furthermore, firefighters won't even enter a burning house these days without a self-contained breathing apparatus, because modern plastics and synthetics give off heavy-duty fumes that can make you forget where the door is or why you're in there in the first place. What the fire department keeps trying to tell you about escape routes and smoke detectors and fire prevention is based on long, gruesome experience. A few years ago, which kind of extinguisher to use on what kind of a fire was a long, detailed explanation, but now the ones on sale are a dry chemical type that's good for all domestic fires, if you know what you're doing. I was searching for a rule of thumb to state whether you should stay and fight or turn and run, and I think it's this. If you're right there and you just caused the fire, go for it. Anything else, run. Any fire involving gasoline, run. Cases where you just caused the fire might include working with your propane torch, or being stupid with barbecue lighter fluid, or that old standby, the grease fire on the stove. Here's what happens with the grease fire. You grab the extinguisher and fumble with it because you haven't read the instructions, and then you blast hot flaming grease all over the kitchen. Then the extinguisher runs out, and then you run out. It's too bad you can't practice with them because they only work once and they have to be recharged or replaced. The next best thing is to show you what happens and a sort of a fair technique for using them. You're going to notice this looks a lot like throwing baking soda on it. You're right, only this allows you to be further away, and your baking soda is probably in the cupboard above the stove anyway, silly you. They all have some sort of a locking mechanism, usually a pin with a seal. The seal's designed to break as soon as you pull out the pin, so don't fumble with the seal. Now, don't get too close to it. You're going to try to smother it without spreading it. And you're going to have to use a sweeping motion, and once you crack the valve, keep going until the fire's out. There. Any fire that doesn't involve a burning liquid can be approached with more directness at the base of the flames, just like it says here. But if it involves an electrical appliance, you're going to have to unplug it or switch it off. Otherwise, the fire will just come right back again. Talking to the fire department convinced me that they're professionals who know the science of firefighting. Fires come in different classes, and there are different hazards and techniques for each kind of fire. It's all pretty confusing, but if you just get everybody the hell out of the house, there's nothing to be confused about. The man I talked to said that they have a simple distance time formula when it comes to fire. Get as far away as possible and as little time as possible. Ooh, I didn't turn it off.